I need to make something weird. I'm in the mood for something different. Top water. Because that's what I said I was gonna do. There's a lot of lure kind of stuff that I have not made. Like I haven't made the big saltwater stuff. Like a marlin fishing lure. Giant saltwater jigs, stuff like that. I just don't live next to salt water. What am I talking about? I'm gonna make a topwater wasp crawler bait. I've not made a, yeah, that's why I said that. For freshwater, it's like the only bait that I haven't made that is left is a crawler bait. What's a crawler bait? It's these sorts of things. This is a depths. They got the wings. That one has a little flappy thing. Yeah, they got the wings and they go back. They do this on the surface because of those wings. Like one wing scoops down and hits the water, and it brings this one up and forward, and then that one does that. So it does this on the surface. Just drew this up. That's the wing that comes out of the side. The joint would be right there if I would put one in. And I don't know where to put the weight in this bait. If it's more functional to have a weight towards the back or towards the front, I don't know. That's gonna have to be figured out when I'm testing. It's always kind of scary starting something you've never done. I've never done a crawler. I'm getting too old and comfortable in my ways. There's no reason to be scared. Let's go, let's do this. Gonna carve the body out of poplar. It's gonna be a good bait. It's gonna be a crazy bait. I'm very talkative this morning. Now this drawing might not look exactly like a wasp. It's more conceptual than realistic. It's going for a more artistic approach to this. You know, wasps usually have the butt that's like set back from the front more, and there's like a little skinny part that it connects it. It's just a more beefy, like I'll be able to do like a bumblebee paint scheme with this, or a yellow jacket, a hornet. I've already made a hornet, but this is gonna cover the whole thing. It's gonna be everything. Flying things that sting you. This. Let's get to work. There are over 100,000 different kinds of wasps in the world. That is not comforting to know. By the way, we're doing fun facts on wasps now. Wasps. That's a lot of different kinds of wasps. They give the example that in the tropics, there's over 800 different species of fig trees. In each of those fig trees species, there's a different kind of wasp species that lives in the different fig tree species. So they're able to really diversify and become a different species really easy for the environment that they're in. There's a whole bunch that aren't identified yet, apparently. Around here where I live, the most common type of wasp is a yellow jacket. A hornet is a wasp. Let's see what some of the different common kinds of wasps are here. I'll find a list. They say a wasp, I don't know why I'm stuttering, they say a wasp is an insect in the order of the special name, the special Latin name that they have for wasp. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. That it's neither a bee or an ant, so everything else falls into place. But there's no but on the end of that. That's all I had to say. Okay, I'm going to find a list now. One sec. Yellow jackets, hornets, paper wasps, mud wasps, potter wasps, pollen wasps. Yeah, those are some common ones. If you live in America, you've probably seen quite a few of those. I want to know what the one that has the really skinny tube and then the butt. You know the wasps that fly around, I don't know if it's just I'm used to them where I live, but they got the front and then there's like a little tube, a long one, and then there's their butt and their stinger. One sec. I see those sometimes. Those are freaky. Mud dauber. A mud dauber wasp. Mud dauber. Why have I never heard of that? Yeah, but wasps are butt heads. They'll just sting you. You walk by their nest, you have a chance of getting stung. You disturb their nest a little bit, you're gonna get stung. They're not like bees, where you can disturb a bee's nest a little bit and you probably won't get stung. Like you have to really mess around with a bee's nest to get stung, but you look at a wasp wrong and it'll sting you. And some species are more aggressive than others and stuff, but you know, don't trust a wasp. Just like bees, wasps, they feed on nectar, but they also forage for food. They're carnivorous. They eat insects and spiders. To their own offspring, they provide food, to the larva. But after they're born, there's no care given, no maternal care given. So also like bees, wasps have the potential to pollinate plants. The vast majority of wasp species play no role in that, but a few species are able to effectively transport pollen and you know, do that really healthy thing of pollinating plants in the world. Wasps, they don't have fur like a honeybee or a big bumblebee does. So I'm assuming it's got to be a wasp that has some good surface area to it and able to pick up the pollen, fly to another flower, and it's left there. So they're not very effective pollinators. Still no reason to like a wasp. I remember when I first moved into this house, out in the front yard, there's this huge, I don't know what it was, if it was a hornet or if it was a wasp. It was just enormous, and it had a cicada, and it stung it, and the cicada was like twitching, and it was trying to pick it up and fly around with it, and it was making a super deep, loud buzzing noise, and I killed it. Can't have that in my front yard, you know. That story was not very in-depth or complete, but just thought I'd let you all know that. So the most common time to be stung by a wasp is in the late summer. It's when the wasps stop breeding and the colonies kind of disperse a little bit. The existing workers in the colony have to go out and find food. So there's more of them out there. They're on the hunt, a little aggressive. Look out, late summer. Yeah, it says here just coming close to them can provoke a sting from a wasp. They're usually just painful. You have to have an allergic reaction to the wasp sting to suffer a life-threatening anaphylactic shock event, you know. I think if you get stung by enough of them, though, that reaction can be induced and it can kill you if you get stung by enough of them, just like a bee colony. You'd still need quite a few stings from a wasp to have an issue like that. I suppose to conclude, if you ever see a wasp, either kill it or run. Such a pesky, disgusting insect. Never deserves sympathy from a human. Fun facts are over.
Took a cast on to the brain.
So I got a bunch of lines drawn out, all the details I want for on the body of this bait. Simple process. Just score the lines and cut to them. And take your time. Take breaks. I'm not quite done carving on this yet. There's some finer details that I want to get put into this. It's not a super detailed carving, just going over all the excuses possible right now, I guess, but I'm going to seal this wood right here, then finish the finer carvings. Why? I don't know. Couldn't give you a really good answer why. I just do this sometimes. I feel like carving on the sealed wood instead of the raw wood. This isn't wood sealer, it's polyurethane. It's what I use to seal the wood. Oh, we're getting close. Gonna test this soon. So those are the anchors for the wings. A cotter pin's gonna go through these holes to secure that wing in. So, forgot to hit record and I drilled a hole out right under where the wings will be. That is my best guess as to where this bait should have its weight and the center of gravity should be. I don't want to lean it back at all. I just want it kind of right in the middle, under the wings. The wings are going to add a lot of weight to this bait, which might make it head heavy, but that might end up being okay, because you want the wings to, you know, do this, like the water. You want the wings to shed water and push it back up and do this. I really don't know what I'm talking about. Bear in mind, I have no idea what I'm doing when it comes to this bait, and you might have noticed I'm not molding this. This is a one-off kind of bait. I'm not going to sell this. I am just figuring out how to get a topwater crawler bait to work. Sorry about those giant tractor noises. They're doing some pretty intense construction across the street. I'd say that looks amazing. That's the spread. Pretty even. Looks good. We'll see if it works good. I'm not confident at all. I have no idea what I'm doing, so. It's just gonna have a treble hook off the butt. I'm not gonna try to put one up in here. I'm afraid it would get tangled on the wings too easy. But a good sized treble hook dangling off the back there. It's not too far away from a bite, you know. That's a 3/8 inch lead hole that I drilled out. I'm gonna fill it all the way up with lead and see if it sinks. I don't want it to sink, I don't think. These baits don't sink, right? I don't even know if these baits sink or not. That's weird. Because you know how lead buzz baits, top water baits, they buzz on the water, they got the propeller, splashes around. I'm sure you know what a buzz bait is. Those sink, and you just have to bring them to the surface to work. So maybe, you know, this could be the same thing. It could still work if it sinks, you know, is my thought. Let's see if it sinks. It sinks. But that might be okay. It sinks very much head first. That might be okay. We'll go test it. And after seeing how that bait sunk head first really hard, I lost quite a bit of confidence in this project, but I don't know. Let's go test this out. The giant wasp has completely redeemed itself. Look at that. It just works. I mean, it doesn't just work, it like side to side. Boom, 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 boom. Wow. I can't believe how well that works. It like all the way one way, all the way the other way. The wings like churn it around like crazy. You can even get it really slow like that. Wow. That really worked out well. I'm gonna try to catch a fish for a little bit and then we'll get this thing ready to paint. Wow. Has an adorable action. That was a complete 180 in morale for this bait. I'm really excited to finish this bait now. Yeah, let's just go finish this bait. Kind of amazed, kind of speechless. I'll stop, okay. So now that I've displayed the most impressive bait making skills in the world, I'm gonna paint this wasp lure. Time to get a reference photo going. And this is a wasp, so I'm not gonna paint a hornet. I mean, hornets are wasps, but I'm not gonna do what's classified as a hornet. I'm going to do what's classified as a wasp. Black and yellow. And when you look at the yellows on a wasp, they're very washed out, very bright. The lightness filter is very high on that yellow, if you know what I mean. Those are cool. This is a lot like what I've made. I think that's it, right there. Maybe a little bit more yellow towards the head, but that's what I'm going to be referencing right there. Reference photo obtained. It's time to paint. I'm going to start with white. Shake your paints. It's important. You've probably noticed already I took off all of the hardware and the wings and the hook. Obviously, before you start spraying a bait, you take off the things that you don't want paint on. I am explaining things that are completely unnecessary to explain right now. Alright, albino wasp. Now we need to take its genetic mutation away. That's a horrible joke. I got a choice to make right now. I go with pearl or fluorescent yellow. I'm just choosing fluorescent. You know what? I'm going to put fluorescent down and then I'm going to go over it lightly with pearl. Depends on how this fluorescent color looks as well. Wow. I already messed up. Professional bait maker. No big deal, that can be painted over. I needed to not thin that paint, because then it just seeped into the crack and like it veined out and looks horrible. It's okay. Done. That was quick. 2 colors. Actually 3, because I did the pearl with the fluorescent yellow. And then just all the black, stripy, blotchy details. Even the eyes. Around the mouth for the pinchers. On the belly. Put some dots up here. Some triangle, kind of thorny shapes into the body. Took a long time, but it was simple. Looks angry. Looks like it wants to sting, you know? Alright, let's get a clear coat on this thing. Okay. It's getting the dip, drip, and UV cured treatment. That's the clear coat we're using, is a UV clear coat. It's gonna drip for a half an hour just like that, and then it's going in there. So I think you guys get the drill. That bait's gonna come out of there. I'm gonna screw the wings back on, and we're gonna go out and fish. Seems to be a bit of a rumor going around that I don't catch fish with the baits that I make. Every video I catch a fish in, there's somebody like, "Oh, it's the first time I've ever seen you catch a fish with your baits." I mean, the rumor's true. I don't, I'm not that great of a fisherman. But I'm going to step it up this year. This year, I'm going to catch a lot of fish. I'm going to fish hard. I'm going to fish multiple days if necessary. I'm going to catch fish with the baits that I make. Turning over a new leaf. No longer will anybody think of me as a bad fisherman. I really better catch a fish in this video. Alright, the finished topwater giant wasp crawler bait. Right there. It's not looking good, folks. I have all day to fish. I'm going to fish all day, but this seems like one of them days. I'm gonna give it my best. I'm gonna go to a lake next. It's been raining the last couple of days. We got some flash flooding going on. Streams are all blown out. I might try some though later. Just gonna keep fishing. Alright, back at this pond. It's my favorite place to fish now. See if we can get any action out here. Hope so. Oh, please stay on. Seems like a decent fish. He's hooked in the corner. I think it's good. Oh, that took all day. But we finally got one. Bass-like giant wasps. It's official. Well, that took, I already said this, that took all day. I have about another hour of SD card left to record. I'm just gonna use it up, keep fishing this, maybe we'll get another. I'm very happy I caught that. Very happy I caught that. That was a decent bass. What do you guys think that weighed? I have no idea. Whew. I feel so much better that I caught that. Whew. Really takes the tension off, you know? What time is it? One sec. Started at like 10. It's 7 o'clock right now. I went to 4 different spots, including this one, and we got that bass. And I'm happy. I consider that worth it. First time ever making a crawler, and it's a giant wasp crawler at that. Got a bass to blow up on it. I got a lot of stuff to actually blow up on this, but I only caught one. The hookup ratio is not very good, but we got a good one. And like always, if you guys have any good ideas of baits that I should make, put them in the comments. I feel so accomplished. I'm gonna end the video. On to the next bait.